Shaving foam on your chin, mate. Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be having the honor of taking you with me on a trip down memory lane. Now, just to give a bit of context for those who are new to the channel, I do a lot of hair loss videos on this channel, and it's actually been 5 years now since I embraced my hair loss by shaving my head. And it just so happens that when I made that decision to actually shave my head, I actually documented the whole thing. And you know, after all these years have gone by, I thought it'd be really interesting to just go back and look at this video and kind of go through how I was feeling at the time. I'm 29 years of age now. I was 24 when I shaved my head for the first time, and you know, it goes to show how long it's been. Hair loss has actually been a problem for me way into my teenage years, you know, it's always been a bit of an issue, but it really started to take an impact on my life and started to progressively get a lot worse in my 20s, my early 20s. And you know, I took so many extreme measures to cover it, and I remember back in the day as well, I used to get friends telling me that I should shave my head, and it would be like an insult. You know, I was the pretty boy back then. I was like, no way, I need to have these gorgeous locks on my head, I need to be looking fresh, you know, having that fresh trim. I can't be shaving my head in my 20s, I'm gonna look like a grandpa, because you know, the media feed us so many stereotypes and stigmas when it comes to hair loss for young men. And I can definitely say that I had fell for the stigma. I definitely believed in it. Until one day, I just decided that spontaneously, I need to just go about embracing it, because what if one day I have no choice? You know, I did contemplate a hair transplant. I did contemplate the idea of surgery, but I realized that deep down, that's not going to solve the issue. You know, it's almost like having a crack on your wall that you paint over. I mean, sure, it's going to look a bit better from the outside, but on the internal level, it's still damaged. It's still an issue. And I realized that it's the same concept when it comes to hair loss, you know? The idea of getting a transplant, I realized that for me personally, all it would do was mask the issue. And the issue was my internal confidence. I realized that so many of my traits, so many of the things that I feel confidence about are external traits, not internal traits. And it made me question, you know, I'm losing my hair and that's already shaking up my external confidence. What about when I lose other traits? And that's when I realized that I have to develop something more. I have to develop internal confidence. And so I challenged myself to shave my head because I wanted to embrace it on an internal level and ultimately learn to live without it. I realized that if I can cross that bridge of shaving my head and learning to live without my hair, then there's no limit on what I can do in life. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but it's true. I truly believe that when you let go of the external traits that you rely on to be confident and instead search for something within yourself to be confident about, that's when you develop real confidence, internal confidence. And that kind of confidence can't be shook up no matter what happens in your life, no matter what you lose, because you start to become content within yourself, regardless of what's going on around you. And that's when you develop true inner peace. Anyway, like I said, it's been 5 years since I shaved my head now, and you know, there's been some ups and downs in terms of confidence. It's definitely been a roller coaster of a journey, but I cannot be more glad that I actually documented that first day of when I shaved my head, because it's just going to be great to look back at it and just see how far I've come. And hopefully this will be able to help you in your personal situation as well, you know, just being able to see someone else and how far they've come in their life in terms of progressing their confidence. Hopefully that can resonate to you and, you know, give you some positive energy as well. Okay, let's get into this. YouTube ads, as always. Skip, please, skip. Okay, here we are. Look, everybody has their insecurities. Everybody has fears and anxieties that they need to get over in life, and I guess you could say this is one of mine. One thing that a lot of people don't realize is one of the biggest insecurities that a man can have is his hair, believe it or not, if it is actually his hair. It's crazy the amount of men that it actually affects when you actually think about it. When you actually think about it, many men go through this issue where, even at a young age like myself, where, you know, pretty much receding in bold, there's the hairline,
you know, going bald at an early age, and as you can see, even though I can cover it up pretty well, it's just like, yeah, you can see it all around. And I'll be honest, this is something that makes me pretty insecure.
So you saw there when I actually went back and looked at my hair, you can see that I can cover it up pretty well. So that's the stage I was at. I was at a stage where I could get away with combing it in certain directions, but it was just becoming a pain. It was becoming a pain to hide the fact I was getting these pretty much not even thinning patches, but just completely bald patches. I mean, look at that. That's just ridiculous, man. But yeah, let's move on.
The reason why I've decided to do this is because I need to come to acceptance and come to terms with the fact that I'm just one of those people who is naturally balding, and one day I know I'm going to have to accept the fact that I will have to shave my head. I will have to become bald, unless I become one of those guys who has no hair here and has, like, you know, 2 big fat pieces of hair here, and yeah, I ain't rocking that look. The point of this video is to say that it's okay. If you're in that situation where you have to shave your head, fellas, it's okay.
Completely
because
normal.
The truth is, that doesn't determine who you are. And anybody who tells you otherwise, they're probably not worth your time in the beginning.
Exactly.
Any girl who tells you otherwise, she's probably not worth your time in the beginning. So don't let it determine your character.
That was a good point right there. I mean, that is something that I was coming to terms with here, you know? I realized that if people are going to have a problem with me shaving my head, you know, then they're not going to be worth the time anyway. I mean, even in terms of dating and relationships, that was definitely one of my worries. I did think, you know, God, I'm going to be looking like 60 years old, you know, because I had this idea that I would look 60 years old at 24 years old because, you know, that's the way the media kind of spins things when it comes to men and hair loss at a young age. They kind of give you this stigma that it's a really negative thing to go through. And that's why the hair loss industry is such a booming industry because, you know, they prey on young men's anxieties and fears and insecurities. And it's crazy.
The fact that you don't have hair is not a bad thing. The fact that you're balding is not a bad thing. It's just another insecurity and flaw. It's not even a flaw, but
not a flaw.
Society, they'll look at it as a flaw. You ain't got a head full of hair, so you're not a good-looking fella. Don't let it get to you. Look,
don't let it get to you.
When it came to me and making this decision, I had all kinds of anxieties towards it. I wondered what people would think. I wondered what people would say to me when I walk into work. I wondered especially how it would affect my dating life, how it would affect my chances with women in general, how they perceive me. And I can't lie, it's quite hurtful when you think about what could be because you always think of the negatives.
What's crazy about this is now sitting here after 5 years, I can say when it came to dating, relationships, going to work, whatever, really, it didn't really make much difference. You know, I think a lot of us guys, when we go through hair loss, we're so in our own heads that we forget that the world's quite self-centered, you know? People are focused so much on themselves that they're not really going to care. They may have a little reaction like, whoa, you shaved your head. Oh, go about my day. You know, they're going to look for 2 seconds and then they're going to not give a shit, basically. And that's not to make you feel bad, but it's just to say that the pressure's not going to be there for you for very long. I mean, people are going to notice and then they're just going to move on with their lives. So don't feel pressured if you are considering this decision.
And the situation is, even when I suggested this idea, even when I brought it up as a simple suggestion on my Snapchat, I got a shit ton of girls saying, don't do it, no, don't do it, don't do it, oh my God, no, no. And, you know, even though they're just probably having fun, like, nah, don't do it, don't go bald, it hurts. Because it kind of makes you think, so what? If I go bald, I'm not going to be me anymore. And it kind of messes with you because you feel genuinely like, is this what people are going to be like? They're not going to look at me the same because I'm missing a bit of hair.
That's one thing that's really important to understand as well. When it comes to, you know, going through this process of accepting your hair loss and shaving your head, you are going to get people who will banter with you a little bit, who will make light-hearted jokes, who will make comments, and a lot of the time it isn't in malicious intent, you know? They haven't got malicious intent with the way they're saying it. It's just the fact that people are people, you know? They're going to make jokes, they're going to crack jokes. It's one of those things, it's human nature for people to banter with each other, so just remember not to take it personally, and as long as you perceive yourself in a positive way, then everyone else will eventually have to accept that too.
And it does mess with you, but that's exactly why I want to go through this now. Even though I'm not at the stage where I have to go completely bald, I want to accept the fact that I will one day. Exactly. The reason I want to do it right now is because I want to accept and come to terms with the fact that regardless of me with hair or regardless of the fact whether it's me with hair or without hair, I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to be me. And in fact, facing this anxiety, facing this insecurity, I want to set an example for everybody else, whether you are suffering from a hair loss or suffering from any kind of flaw or what society would deem as a flaw.
As a flaw.
It's okay to face it and it's okay to accept it.
That's a good point right there as well, when I kind of touched on the fact that I didn't have to do it at this stage in my life. You know, my balding was progressing at a bit of a fast rate, but it wasn't so bad that I had to do it there and then. You know, I could have probably got away with it for another 5 years, but I just realized that I might as well get over it now, because then at least if I ever do have to, you know, have no choice but to do it later on down the line when I'm in my 40s, 50s, 60s, at least I won't feel bad about it. At least I'll feel confident with it, and at least I'll feel comfortable with the fact I've done it before. And that's something I say to a lot of the young guys out there. If you're going through your hair loss in your teens or your early 20s, it's good to just, you know, brave the shave right now and embrace it right now, because at least then when you have no choice down the line, you will have at least developed some confidence and comforts with the idea of it, you know? And that's the reason I did it here. I never actually intended to stay bald, but, you know, here I am.
And you can still be attractive, you can still be confident, you can still be whatever you wish to be, regardless of the imperfections. You can still be an attractive person, an attractive individual, inside and out. So I guess the reason I'm doing this is just to prove to you guys and to prove to myself it's okay to have flaws.
God, I'll say this right now. You guys probably can't tell, but I can just hear the fear in my voice when I'm talking right here. I'm kind of hyping myself up through this whole video just to kind of get myself on board with this crazy idea that I've, just spontaneously decided to do, because it was very spontaneous, This particular day, it was 6 p.m. here, and I had just finished work. I'd got back from work, and I just decided, I looked in the mirror and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go for it. I mean, what the heck do I have to lose? It will grow back if worst comes to worst, and then I can go back to the same routine of combing my hair in every single random direction I can to cover up the fact I'm balding again. But at least I'll have tried it. At least I'll have given the opportunity to try something new, Let's get into the shave.
Just so you know, my heart is racing right now. I am nervous as shit. Here we go, though. There it goes.
You see, I'm starting off on the sides in case I change my mind.
There we go for the top.
Oh, man. There it goes.
Like I said, without judgment, so I don't look like an old man right now.
That laughter is so fake. I could tell you right there and there. I was just like, what have I done? What the f have I done? I was laughing to kind of probably contain my tears a little bit, because I was just like, why am I doing this to myself, for God's sake?
Oh my god, wow. Okay, go for some of this thicker part of the hair. Oh shit, okay, this is gonna be hilarious. I am the devil, and I've got to turn your soul.
So you can see right here, I'm about to get the blade ready, and you can see that I actually went full cold turkey on my first shave. I didn't go about, a lot of guys will do the whole buzz cut first, or they'll gradually go from like a number 2 to a number 1 to a 0, and then they'll go for the blade, after a period of months. I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna go crazy. This is a spontaneous idea, and I'm just gonna go full-fledged, full cold turkey, and do the whole thing.
That's what we're doing, making his head big and shiny.
What a waste of shaving foam.
It's running down my back, shit.
Shouldn't have used so much shaving foam then, Mr. Old Ricky.
I'm just panicking like a bitch.
Panicking like a bitch, alright. There we go. Shaving with the grain first. So, I looked at the technique, made sure I was doing the right thing. I remember getting a lot of cuts though. So I'm going to explain this in a second. Let's just be entertained. Shaving foam on your chin, mate. Are my dance moves any better? Gosh. So that pretty much sums up the video. There you go, and that's a wrap. I'm officially bald. And through it all, I'm still me. Gosh. Well, that was a bit of a trip, wasn't it? Guys, what I can definitely say through that whole shave... Now, let me just explain the dance. You know how I was saying at the start when I was laughing a lot when I was going through the head shaving process? I was kind of laughing towards the end there, again, as a bit of a self-defense mechanism. I was just like, what the hell have I done deep down? I was very much like, I've made the wrong decision. And I was struggling with it internally, but I was trying to pep myself up, hype myself up to just be confident about it, be positive about it, and just give it a chance, I thought that's the only thing I can do. I can't go back now. It's too late now. I've shaved the entire freaking head off. Like I said, I didn't go for a number 2, number 1, number 0 first. I went full-fledged cold turkey, blade out. Gave myself a bunch of cuts as well because I didn't really know what I was doing. I remember going downstairs and, my mom was probably one of the only people who was a bit skeptical towards the whole hair loss thing, towards the whole head shaving thing. And I remember when I went downstairs and she was just like, what the hell have you done? And that didn't help things, but I kind of expected it because my mom just couldn't get with the idea of me shaving my head. she kind of thought I'd look like a bit of a stereotypical terrorist, you know, Asian with a beard and a bald head. God, you're gonna look like you're about to freaking do something real bad, you know? But guys, I had to go through with it, and like I said, the whole reason I did it is because I realized that getting a transplant, you know, getting SMP, getting a hair system put in place, that may give me confidence on an external level, but it's temporary confidence. As soon as that hair transplant stops working, as soon as that procedure or that treatment stops working, I'm gonna be sinking in the same boat again. I'm gonna be without confidence because I've lost that external trait. And that is the reason that I decided I'm gonna be crazy, I'm gonna be spontaneous about this, and I'm just gonna do it. I got nothing to lose. I mean, literally at this point, I was losing everything up there. So I thought, what the heck? And you know, I couldn't be more glad that I did this, and like I said, that I documented this video, because doing this video, I didn't expect it to get the views that it got, that it would get the attention that it got, and that it would inspire people the way that it did. And it just allowed me to actually have a platform to inspire people. And the beautiful thing about it is I was growing and learning to develop my confidence and learning to accept this brand new look, while also helping other people who were in the same shoes as me do it as well. And that is just beautiful. It's been an amazing journey, you know, 5 years, and you know, you'll get people who will watch this video who haven't gone through hair loss, and they will be like, why are you making it like it's such a big deal? But you know, those folks don't realize how bad it can actually affect people and how bad it can affect a man's confidence. So I just hope this video is able to inspire you and empower you. If you're about to make this decision yourself, I wish you luck. I'll be honest with you, you're probably not going to like it right away. In fact, when it came to myself, for the first 2 years of shaving my head, I pretty much hated it. I would always wear hats to hide it. Even though I was shaving my head, I would wear a hat. And it wasn't until my fiance now, who was at the time my girlfriend, when I started dating her, I actually went to visit her where she was living at the time, and I was wearing my cap in the house, and she kind of told me that, you know, it was so subtle. She kind of told me, you know, you don't have to wear the cap inside the house. And it was so comforting just to hear her say it in the way she did, in the sweet voice she had. And it made me realize that, you know what? I don't need to hide it. I don't need to wear a cap. I'm gonna take the cap off, and if you like it, I like it too. Anyway guys, I got some cooking to do. It's Friday. My fiance is about to get home from work, and you know, good men wash the dishes, good men do the cooking, good men do the hoovering and the cleaning, you know? So guys, I will say, on top of rocking that smooth shiny head, you want to make sure you have those other qualities in check as well. Anyway guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification icon to be notified of all the latest content when it drops, all that good jazz. My name is Ricky Benang, and it's been an absolute pleasure. Take care people.